whakarongo ki te tangi a te korimako. Kōrero flowing out the hook of force. Kaupapa relevant, kaupapa out of bounds, kaupapa exigent, kaupapa paramount. Nā kona whakapiri mai ki te kaupapa tino whakahira hira whakarongo pi kari kari mai. Hare hare mai, o Taringa hare hare mai. We gotta gather up close everybody. Gather up close everybody. Kani move that body. Kani move that body.
Ngā mihi o te tauhou Māori.
Kia ora.
Happy Māori New Year e te iwi ko matariki te whetū tapu o te tau tēnei ia kua rewa mai ki runga, kua mahuta mai ki runga. And what a primo kōrero we had last week.
I'm still vibing of it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm replaying it actually.
I'm just vibing.
Yeah, I'm just vibing.
It's the vibe.
The atmosphere, our illustrious guests that were able to spend time with us.
Tino, e mihi nei kia tātou.
Aye.
I've got mixed feelings about, well, not feelings, just, because matariki is a time for acknowledging those that have gone on through the year and letting them not so much go from our hearts and our memories, but letting them go on their way.
Aye.
Just before matariki, we had a lot of tangihanga i roto o tainui, o te aroa me ki nā iwi o te motu.
Aye.
But i roto i te ao, ka haere te ora me te mate.
Aye.
I was feeling for poor old matariki, or for matariki, because, matariki was getting a bit of a bad rep. And,
Yeah, that's true.
and I saw a post from the Kaziki Moro, and he was saying, I think there's a bit too much hope going around. Matariki is all doom and gloom. Hoi anō, anei tātai whakanui nei tauhou, me tā tātai kaupapa i tēnei rā, iwi o te wiki, but before we get into that, e hoa, hea tā tātai kiwaha.
When I was thinking about that, I was thinking, and your kōrero from last week talking about matariki and our guests, I was thinking, get you. I found a kiwaha that pertains to that, which is kia koe hoki.
Kia koe hoki.
Kia koe hoki. Get
Kia koe
you.
hoki. Kia koe hoki. And another rendering of that, you might hear in Rātoki is, hei a koe hoki.
Hei a koe hoki.
Hei a koe hoki. So, get you, kia koe hoki. Koe nā tātātai kiwaha e te iwi, e ngai e taringa, kia koe hoki, kia kouta hoki. Get you, fellas.
Get you, fellas.
Get you,
Oh,
fellas.
yeah, might I add when...
Kia koe hoki, just button like that.
Yeah, well, I was cracking up last week when Morgan did his dance in his Boris? Is it Boris?
Boris?
That green bikini.
Oh, Borat.
In the Borat, when Morgan did that Borat bikini dance in front of everyone.
That's right. Yeah, man.
Kia koe hoki.
Kia koe hoki. That was unexpected.
Yeah, very. Yeah, and he was only meant to make a sweet potato pie.
Yeah, so... hoi anō e te iwi. It's a bit of Back to Future going on in here. It's a bit of, ko māua anake kei te moe, hoi anō. E mihi ana kia koutou, anei tā tātou Once Upon a Taima i tēnei wiki, whakarongo mai.
Sage, wizard, sorcerer, warlock, none of which best describes the abilities and mysticism associated with the supernatural practitioners of the ancients from Polynesia. None other than that of the word, tohunga. Within Aotearoa law, there is no other as synonymous with this kupu as ngā toroirangi. A being of great mana and supernatural propensity. A progeny of the stratospheric ariki lines of Pūhaurangi. He was the dread of the multitude, the envy of the thousands. Once upon a time, when Aotearoa had not long been named, the Te Arawa Waka made landfall on the golden shores of current-day Maketu.
O great sorcerer, will you be as gracious as to perform the proper karakia to ensure safe anchorage in favour of the atua?
Weare, oh how thou grovel at my feet. Ha! At least I shall. But to only grant my own safe passage and to satisfy my gods. Beneath te puhutu kawa over yonder, I shall conduct my rites and rituals. Me noho tonu koe I te pakokori, kia whakawairea rāno au I te papa. Remain on deck until I have cleared the land.
Ngā toroirangi set foot on the land and conducted the required observance. This place is now known as O Ngātoro. which means the place of Ngā Toro. Some of the crew set up camp for the night, while others began their own expedition of land claim. One of those keen tourists went by the name of Tia.
I have assembled a troop and shall begin my trek of discovery from here inwards, by way of this river. Waeke!
Tia followed the Kaituna River from Maketu, making his way around the eastern shores of Te Rotorua Nui a Kaumata Momoe. Tia is accredited today for place names such as Te Horohoroinga Nui o Tia, where he had to be cleansed after touching the corpse of an ariki. Tia Muri. From noticing the murkiness of the river, it suggested that someone was ahead of him. Ara Tia Tia, denoting the tiered appearance of the falls, and the internationally known Taupo Nui a Tia. It is said that Tia marvelled at the peculiar hue of the cliffs around Hamaria as it resembled his rain cloak. Let us turn our attention back to Ngā Toroirangi.
This place is already too populated for land requisition. Let us rest tonight. Ua whātare mai a tāwera i te tau riparipo te rangi. Ka huri te ihu ki runga. And just as tāwera appears from the horizon, we shall set sail with our nose southward. Aye.
And just as the brow of Venus broke the threshold of the horizon, Ngā Toroirangi and crew headed south. It wasn't long until they reached what we know today as Matata. There they entered the river mouth, which they called Te Aotearoa, known as the Tarawera River.
Ka mau te wehi. Me whakatōmene tātou i te whenua taurikura nei. Let us traverse and explore this pristine land. I sense a stirring force from within this place. Let us assemble an exploration party. Hoa ke tātou. We shall follow Te Aotearoa inward until we find a suitable summit for survey.
Ngā Toroirangi and his party set foot following the Tarawera River. They headed eastward until they reached the summit of the Ruawahia Dome.
Ai, Marika. Kia matara e hika mā. There are creatures and beings that lurk these areas. I can sense them. Nevertheless, I have cast a spell of protection over us, lest we be consumed by the malevolent forces that await in the shadows.
The wise Tohunga raised his chin and with his telepathic sight surveyed the land from atop of the Ruawahia Dome. In his mind's eye, he caught sight of another summit.
What do you see, old man?
I can see the back of someone's head. He is close. He doesn't know he is about to be surprised. This fool's head will meet the knot of my staff.
Ooh, yeah, ka mutsu pēr. He must be such a fool. How close is he?
Aye, very close. He doesn't know how close I am to him. I shall strike him from here.
Yeah, patu, old man. Yeah, what was that for?
This fool is about to apologize for referring to his rangatira as an old man before I turn him into a leper.
Motaku kuare te rangatira.
Kāti, iwana nei hoki. You and another go ahead and scout for clearings, provisions, and any imminent dangers. Set a course due southeast. We march until we meet the foot of this maunga.
Ngā Toroirangi and his party marched through valley and forest until they reached the foot of Tauhara Mountain. This was the summit in which he saw from Ruawahia.
Me kake tātou i te maunga nei. Let us ascend this mass. The lands below shall be a home for my children, and so on. However, there is something that calls within. I must find it to ease this desire that is not of the flesh, nor is it of the palate.
At the summit they bore witness to the majestic landscape and to the forefront the silver glimmer of Lake Taupo. In generations to come, Tauhara would become the gateway to the great territories of Tūwharetoa. It was upon this peak where Ngā Toroirangi thrusted his staff into the earth, and from the gouge flowed a freshwater spring. This place is known today as Te Kāretu a Ngā Toroirangi. It was also at that moment the great Tohunga saw what the seat of his desire was.
My whanaunga Tia has been here. There is also another scent that lingers. It's familiar, but I just can't put my thumb on it.
Yeah, I can only smell halitosis. What does that mean, O great wise one?
It means you talk too much hamuti. Anyway, these aren't the scent of a person. 'Tis the scent of another spiritual essence. Ko te hau o te tangata. He hara ko te haunga. Ha! Arare! Kia pai mai hoki, te paupau o ku ka wata wata. Over there stands the fulfillment of my desire. Is this the great cloud that Kupe spoke of? Is this the power of the fair-skinned Patupaerehe? Let us make haste. I must see this great white mass in its entirety. Karawhiua!
Yeah, turi, wara. It just looks like another maunga that we'll have to climb.
Taihua, something is coming to me. A vision. A vision of a great manu.
Ooh, a manu. Paya. What kind? Is it big? Can it carry us? Ooh, can we eat it?
E kao, a man-like manu. It gives off one hell of a shriek when it descends from the mountaintops.
Ooh, what type of sound is it? Whoa!
E poko.
Ngā Toroirangi and his band of flightless followers made their way towards this great white hype. They pioneered along the eastern shores of Taupo Nui Atia, and as Ngā Toroirangi stopped to quench his thirst from the Great Lake, he proclaimed,
Ana, hei puna whaenu māku uri. This shall be drinking water for my progeny.
He then plucked the feather from his cloak and cast it out onto the waters. As it kissed the ripples, it morphed into an eel. Nevertheless, it did not subsist. He then plucked another plume from his regal garment and again it set adrift. This time it took the form of a kōrero, a breed of whitebait which remains as the customary species of taupo. Onward to the southern beach they continued.
Kore wā mere tū ahi, me pūpahi tātou ki konei mo te pō. The evening star has arisen. Let us set up camp here for the night. We shall sleep under the gaze of this majestic maunga.
As the entourage set up camp, Ngā Toroirangi surveyed the surroundings.
That familiar scent I whiffed up on Tauhara is stronger here. Someone is nigh. Kia matara e karema. We are not alone in these parts. The scent is not of Aotearoa, but it is from Hawaii. E kai hoki kia nā te puku. Eat well tonight. Tomorrow we fast, for our quest ahead is of a sacred nature.
Just before dawn, Ngā Toroirangi set out to scale this great white maunga.
I shall go alone, he mahi tohunga tēnei, engari me noho poku tātou katoa. We must all remain in the fasted state until my return.
So off Ngā Toroirangi went to scale the colossal slopes of this maunga. It was not long after he had emerged from the tree line that he sensed a presence.
There it is again, that familiar scent. I should have known. Puta mai, I see you don't possess the surreptitious charms to cloak yourself. I can see you, Hape Tuarangi.
From behind the shrub, Hape Tuarangi and his followers emerged.
Ka kite hoki au I a koe. Tēnā koe Ngā Toroirangi. What brings you here?
Tēnā hoki koe e hape. He hanga kai o tēnei kāinga. I'm here to climb this great mountain.
Ko taku hā tōnu taku kai, ko kai manoa.
Hape Tuarangi was known to look to the hill range in the east, hence the name Kaimanawa Ranges.
Weina, I am here to do the same.
Kai a te ahi! I forbid you to do such a thing. Ka whakatapua e au tēnei maunga. I deem this maunga sacred.
A race ensued between Hape Tuarangi and Ngā Toroirangi, and as they scurried across rock and scree, Ngā Toroirangi utilised his supernatural gifts to summon the whips of Tāwhiri Mātea.
E hoki e hape! Turn back now or succumb to the forces of the wind and cold.
Tēnā korene!
Ngā Toroirangi peered down on the black vastness below him, into which Hape Tuarangi had disappeared and named it Rangipo. It was here he set his first step on the snow line.
Ooh, ka tahira, ka ngaukino mai te haupapa I oku matihau. Oh, the frost gnashes at my toes. Ugh, I must make it to the pinnacle.
Mustering up all his power to maintain a warm mauri, Ngā Toroirangi dragged himself to the summit of the blizzardry mountain. In this instance, he knew he didn't have long to live. With his last breath, he sent a telepathic message to his sisters in Hawaii.
Haungaro, e ara, our brother is in peril, I can hear him calling.
Ai kui wai, I can see him in frost and sleet.
Kui wai e, haungaro e, kariro au I te tonga, tukuna mai te ai. Au kui, I've been captured by the sudden winds. Send me fire.
The sisters heard their brother's plea. They filled 6 baskets with glowing embers and with urgency sent them with their demigod siblings, Te Pupu and Te Hoata. The Pupu and Hoata burrowed deep into the globe's crust and made their way through the subterranean corridors of the earth towards Aotearoa. Along the way they came up for direction in places such as Whakaari, White Island, Moitohora, Whale Island, Te Rotoiti, Tarawera, Rotorua, Ōrākei Kōrako, Wairākei, Tokānu, and finally Ke Te Tahi at Tongariro. This is still evident today in the geographics of these places, showing a direct line from Whakaari to Tongariro. From this day, this great mountain was named Tongariro to commemorate the life-risking climb ngā toroirangi made to the summit. Kāriro au I te hau o te tonga.
Kia ngai toroirangi hoki. Can you use it like that?
You remind me of Tātere when he's on that, because kia ora Tātere if you're listening. He does things like that. Like he has his own ring-dings of kiwaha.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's a bit misinformed about particular kiwaha and he like uses them in the wrong way. So
Well, I'm a bit like that. I'll go home and do something else. Like,
I know a few people like that, and sorry, I'm not laughing at you for using kiwaha in the wrong way, but it's like using an expression in the wrong way.
Yeah.
And have a little bit of a chuckle about it.
well, there's that story of that nanny that sent flowers and a card to a bereaved family, and put LOL at the end of her note. And she thought it was lots of love. And the next time these two kuia met again, this kuia gave her the coldest of shoulder. And they go, why is that? Well, I put LOL at the end of my note to them, giving my condolences. And then the mokopuna had to go, man, that means laugh out loud. Oh, no wonder she was throwing me so much shade at that hui.
Ka roha.
Kia roha hoki.
Ka roha. Oia no e te iwi, koena te kōrero mo etahi o ngā mahi whakamiharo a ngā toroirangi.
Aye.
And, it links in with our kōrero that we had with Kerera, with Kila, a few episodes ago, about tūwharetoa, and we just talk about ngā toroirangi. Yeah, great tohunga wa ruanuku.
Aye.
I would use the term ruanuku for ngā toroirangi.
What's the difference?
Good question. A tohunga is an expert in the field, and I know we say it's subject expert.
Yeah.
But really, tohunga, when we say tohunga in te ao Māori, you use that word tohunga, you don't use it lightly.
Yes.
And it's actually a term, you don't go around calling yourself a tohunga, people call you a tohunga.
Right.
And ruanuku is a tohunga who has reached an echelon, I guess.
Aye.
Not only in their practices, but their wisdom.
Kia ora.
Yeah. So that's a ruanuku. And the ruanuku too could be in charge of other tohunga.
I see. Yep.
Yeah, so he'd be like, the Dumbledore of Hogwarts.
Ooh.
Dumbledore's a ruanuku.
Aye.
Yeah, that's the best way to explain what a ruanuku is.
Yeah, that's cool.
You could use it. I've heard it. Yeah, it's the Yoda. Yeah, so I've used it too in ways to address a wise old one as well, e te ruanuku. So ngā tōrerangi was definitely a ruanuku, and he's also referred to as ariki ihore.
Kia ora.
Yeah, ariki ihore or te arawa, because of his deeds and him becoming associated with the waka of te arawa. We had some interesting exchanges on the marae lately at the tangihanga of the late Minarapa Mitai Ngātai. Mitai passed away. We went to his tangi, and my mate Kahu no Ngāti Toa, that had spoken on Taringa, talked about ngā toroirangi and how he felt whakamā for what had happened. And there was a bit of a reply from our other mate, from the uncle of Kerera, Chris, about that, what happened with ngā toroirangi. So it was quite neat, actually.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was very, very Māori, but hoi no ngā toroirangi.
Ngā toroirangi,
I think one of the tikanga I'd like to talk about, don't talk about the story, because I think the story speaks for itself.
Aye.
And oh man, I just wonder who wrote that story.
Those writers.
Yeah, kei tawhiti.
Kei tawhiti.
Yep, kei Tongariro.
Yeah.
See, that might be a way that
Aye.
Tātere might use... sorry, Tātere, you're getting it today. But I'm going to want to talk about taunaha. So taunaha is the tikanga, the practice of naming something. And a lot of the time our tupuna would name an area, place, lake, whatever, landmark after a part of their body,
Right.
which would make that place tapu. And that tapu would be observed in different ways. For instance, to digress from Ngā Tōrairangi, to talk about Rangi Haiata,
Right.
he made a peace between Ngāti Kahungunu and themselves, and he called the Tararua Rangers Te Tuarā, ko tōku tuarā tēnā.
Kia ora.
And by saying that, it stopped his people from crossing over the ranges to make war with Ngāti Kahungunu.
Right.
So, yeah, and then there's lots of stories when our tupuna came from Hawaii, various waka,
Aye.
and the people on those waka named places for themselves, or they named them after their children.
Kia ora.
So, for instance, on Aotearoa, you had tupuna on there, Te Takapū or Hei, in different places, yeah.
Oh,
So, yeah,
wow.
that's taunaha.
So the idea there, if I'm clear about it, is that, say if you're an ariki or a person of high ranking and you name a place after your body part, that type of tapu of your body is also the tapu of that area. So no one would touch it or sleep on it.
So, you know, you might say, that rock is my ure,
Yep.
you know, but someone might want to touch it.
Aye. Yeah, but there's no crabs on it.
No. No, but yeah, there'd be a by association of being a part of that ariki or person, then they claim ownership of it as a part of their body. So that's one form of taunaha. And the other one is actually naming places,
Yep.
you know, not so much after a body part. Or an event that happened there, like with
Aye.
Ngā Tōrairangi in this story.
Yes.
So
very
we've got
much so.
places where, you know, even where a lot of our tupuna had a mimi,
Yep.
all of our waka traditions and kōrero tuku iho, and even after waka, there's lots of places that is called te mimi
Aye.
a or te mimi o,
Aye.
depending if they're talking about the verb or the actual mimi.
Aye.
Yeah, so those were some of the other ways of taunaha. The sleeping place of,
Yes.
te moenga o, te nohoanga o, the sitting place of. So there's lots of those. So koena te taunaha.
Kia ora.
Yeah, koena i tai tikanga o te taunaha.
And even how some of the taunahatanga overlap, the claimings overlap, you know, there was...
Oh,
Yeah.
well, absolutely. You know, I like to think of maunga poatu. E hara tērā i taku maunga. But, you know, I heard a kōrero from Ngāti Ruapani. They see one side of maunga poatu, and Tūhoi see another side of maunga poatu.
Aye.
It's the same maunga.
Yep.
They see different sides. They might have different kōrero, but it's the same maunga.
That is so true, though. Even though the other day we were driving on the western side of Kakepuku, and I had to ask, is that still Kakepuku?
Yeah,
You
because
know?
it looked different, eh?
Yeah, it looked different, yeah.
Yeah.
And if we look at our central plateau, we the likes of Ngāti Rangi, where Che Wilson is from, and their kōrero of Ruapehu, you know, from another perspective of it. And yeah, so interesting, very interesting.
Yeah. So, koena e tahi kōrero rero mo te taunaha.
Aye.
Place names, you know, i roto i o tātou whenua nei, have a rich history and whakapapa. And you can learn a lot from the place names.
Aye, very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll find a lot of the place names, they could be from a time of a niwi that isn't there anymore.
Aye.
You know, but the place name has stuck. And then contrary to that, there are some places that have 2 or even 3 names.
Aye.
Waikato is one. Waikato is, you know, widely known as Waikato.
Aye.
And the other name of Waikato is Te Awa Nui a Taikehu,
Taikehu, aye, kia ora.
which isn't a name that's commonly used or known.
Through whai kōrero, could you still refer to Waikato as Te Awa Nui o
Yes,
Taikehu?
I do.
Yep.
Yep, and even some of the waka.
Aye.
You know, Te Arawa, before it was Te Arawa, it was Ngā Rākau Mātahi Pū Atua Matua.
Atua matua.
And after Ngā Tōrairangi done his karakia, and in his karakia, he says, e ko taku waka ko Te Arawa, niho pōpō ngahu e te parata. And when he says Te Arawa, that's the first time the name Te Arawa is used. And after then, it's known as Te Arawa. But there are times when it is referred to Ngā Rākau e rua or Mātahi Pū Atua Matua.
Kia ora.
So it's not just place names.
Yep.
And same with people.
Aye.
Like
yes.
the story of Tūwhare Tō.
Aye.
And, you know, the story of Lindsay.
Yep.
of Snow, of Francis, of Praone.
Aye. Yeah.
You know, kei tēnā iwi.
Aye.
And you're talking about people's names, like Te Whatanui, Te Rangatiro o Ngāti Raukawa.
Aye.
Te tai o ngā rangatiro o Ngāti Raukawa. His name was Te Whatanui. He was also known as Tohea Pare. Now, Pare Raukawa was his mother.
Ah, yes.
And Tohe means to be forthright, or you can be quarrelsome, or you can be straight up the guts, koe nā te tohe. Other rangatira have been known as Te Whetu Marama o te ata.
Aye.
So yeah, people had names too. Same with Te Whero was known as Pōtatau.
Yes.
You know, we've got our nicknames for one another and names, so...
And there's only nicknames that some people can call you.
He tika tēnā.
Yeah.
He tino tikara wāti tēnā. Kaua mai etahi o ingoa.
Aye.
Engari anō mai etahi. Pēnei au nei, ina he ingoa ōku I Wainganui, ōku tino and
Aye.
I ōku whanaunga, pēnā anō koe.
Aye.
Yeah, very interesting. But yeah, the back to taunaha and whenua
Yes.
and landmarks, rivers, mountains. If you do a bit of research into the meanings of those names and the whakapapa and the origins, it's very, very rich and you'll learn lots.
Yep, so true, 'cause especially when you travel the country. And this is why we are so big on people making the effort to pronounce these beautiful names properly, because within them is rich history, you know, and we can all learn a bit of it when we go places. First thing I like doing is like, wow, how did this place get this name?
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about places yesterday, like, yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing too, with names and macrons now, and I know we've had a kōrero about tohu tō, actually lots of times. But, you know, some of the places I see, I think, it would be really helpful if there was a tohu tō there.
Aye.
Which would provide more of a whakapapa to me about, whakamārama to me about what that name means.
Yes, very much so.
Now, I was thinking about Pāua Tahanui down in Wellington.
Aye.
Now, is it Pāua Tahanui or is it Pāua Tahanui?
Ah, kia
So
ora.
they both make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a whole lot of other place names like that as well, that if they had a macron on them, they'd be a bit more clear to us about what the name means.
Even the way how they're shortened for the convenience of, say, the letter or the street sign, to find the full name of it. Because I always think, when there's an O in front of something, I always think, there must be a kupu before that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like having a look at the histories of the names.
Yeah. Koe nā e tahi kōrero e te iwi, mō ngā taunaha. And naming, particularly around place names and sites of significance. Really, if it's got a name, it's a significant site. It has a history behind it. The sad thing is a lot of those histories and whakapapa have been lost or forgotten.
Kia ora.
Or not remembered or not retold. You know, we all have a responsibility. Once you've done the rangahau and the research and you've learnt what that name means, it's your responsibility to tell other ones and to keep that mātauranga going.
Right. Well, what I find interesting as well is you may be in a big city, say like Hamilton, and you go, this is Kirikiriro. In actual fact, there's only a small part that is actually Kirikiriro. The rest there are other beautiful names within that. So look at wherever you are and wherever you live or wherever you come from, research that name.
Tika. So our waiata this week e te iwi is ko koe io. Whakarongo mai.
Ko koe io, matua te kore. Ko koe io, te wairua. Ko koe io, te pukenga, te kaihanga o ngā mea katoa. Ko koe te toka, te maunga teitei. Ko koe io, ko koe io, matua te kore. Ko koe io, te wairua. Ko koe io, te pukenga, te kaihanga o ngā mea katoa. Ko koe te toka, te maunga teitei. Ko koe io, te pukenga, te kaihanga o ngā mea katoa. ko koe ia.
Well, you know, I'd like to say that that's one of the old-time favourites, but it's not really one that I know. But I have heard people sing, and I actually don't. I know it when someone else sings it.
Yeah, I'm actually like that all the time.
Yeah.
You know, give me the first two lines and I might finish the line. But that was a cool song. I've just learned that too. I've just heard it as well.
Yeah, it's interesting because it talks about io, and we could actually have a wānanga about io because there are some, you know, different kōrero out there about io. Is io traditional? Does io predate Christianity or Christian beliefs? Was io a response to the Christian God?
The Christianization as we try to preserve our kōrero, adhering it to.
Hoi anō, I runga i te kōrero a Pakake, when we had our kōrero about, I do feel the weight of that way ko koe io. So you can look up that song on the kukara. Koe nā tātai kōrero rero i tēnei wā e te iwi. Have you got any closing whakaaro, any thoughts there, Puaheiri?
Nā, e mihi tonu ana ki a koutou, e hoki tonu mai nei ki te are mai ki a māua nei e whakararu ana ki a koutou.
Ai.
Yeah, e mihi ana.
Kia koe hoki. You didn't say anything, you know, you were quite serious, so, you know, take my hat off to you. You know, people think that taku hoa nei, that he is hianga, but he's got a very, very deep side. You know? And e tangata āta whakaaro. And just to use the word ruanuku, sometimes we're all ruanuku. You know, knowledge is knowing, but wisdom is how you use that knowledge.
Tika.
Nō reira kia kaha tātai katoa, I roto I a tātai mahi, ki te whakaora I te reo, me ngā kōrero tuku iho, nei māua e mihi atu ana kia koutou, e ngai taringa mā I tawhiti. I tai, I he ake rānei, tēnā koutou katoa.
Ki o, whakarongo ki te tangi a te korimako. Kōrero flowing out the hooker force. Kaupapa relevant, kaupapa out of bounds, kaupapa exigent, kaupapa paramount. Nā ko nā whakapiri mai ki te kaupapa tino whakahira whakarongo pi kari mai. Hare mai, o Taringa hare mai. We gotta gather up close everybody. Gather up close everybody. Kani move that body. Kani move that body.
Taringa. He mea tuku nā te wānanga o Aotearoa. To listen to more episodes, search for us on your podcast app and subscribe. Taringa. Whakarongo mai.